right, very good morning, everyone. Fantastic. Good. It's great to be here. My name is Subram Natarajan. I lead the customer engineering for Google Cloud. It's indeed an immense pleasure to be here after about a year, this event. And my endeavor today is to kind of paint you a picture of how newer technologies such as Gen AI can paint the picture of art of possibility for e-commerce and digital natives. I'm going to be talking about technologies and how it can interfere or intervene in our life to make a differential experience. Two interesting things happened compared to last year. Last year we were talking about cloud and data to be the greatest set of catalysts for digital transformation. Now guess what? Couple of things happened which made us sit back and take notice of. Number one, Gen AI has come of age. It is there right on our faces pretty much any walk of life, whether it is to write a poem, write an essay, plan a trip, or even in the enterprise area, the areas that you are working on to really figure out how customers are now consuming, and therefore how we all need to change the way that we reach our customers. Yet another interesting thing that happened, that was about ONDC. We crossed 35,000 daily transactions, close to about 40,000 sellers in the network. What this means is that some seller deep in Tamil Nadu in Salem wanting to sell a sari, and then a buyer sitting in Kashmir can both transact very fluidly in ONDC network, talking different languages. That became possible with the advent of ONDC. Now these two together is spinning off a whole bunch of activities around how we transform the e-commerce as well as the digital footprint in our enterprises. The way I look at how the journey has been impacted is, I would say, more nuanced, whether it is the awareness phase, consideration, converting into action and loyalty. We all know that close to about 90% of online users use Google and therefore have a tremendous set of recall. This also means that Google Ads and shopping becomes an excellent surface for you to provide the right kind of content to improve the awareness. All of a sudden, the need for providing engaging content, hyper-personalized reaches to our end customers becomes super critical. How do you reach and address a market of one with hyper-personalized content? And that's what awareness is all about. Knowing that more than 50% of the shoppers begin their journey from internet. More importantly, a Google surface, such as YouTube or ad or search. From those property, you begin the conversations and completely take them to closing the conversations and beyond. Making sure that journey of consideration, making sure we provide the right kind of information for people to evaluate, understanding their intent, converting that into business, converting that into actionable sales in a fluid manner. All of that becomes possible with the help of Gen AI now. Needless to say, making sure that these users and their intent are captured in an appropriate way so that they can come back to the platform and continue their transactions or continue buying other products along the way at a later times as well. That's all about loyalty. More specifically, let's look at how Gen AI is helping with these part. Everyone knows people don't buy something if they don't know what it is all about, right? That is where leveraging Gen AI becomes super critical. Using the marketing content, campaigns, earlier we talked about how campaigns are super critical, right? Ensuring that we provide the right kind of content in the campaigns in an engaging manner now becomes possible with the help of Gen AI multimedia capabilities, right? We call that as multimodal models. Considering that options for any buyer is really plenty, providing the right kind of research capabilities right on the surface itself, allowing them to evaluate based on the intent, not on express, but on the intent intended ideas. That becomes possible using Gen AI now with the help of product discovery and personalized recommendations and in the search property itself. I want to also talk about how Gen AI has smoothened the entire journey by nicely integrating with the workflow associated with sales and sales process. Last but not least, sentiment analysis, understanding what the users feel after the purchase will give us an important insight into how we will make sure the users come back, customers come back to the same platform. Gen AI plays a pivotal role in making all of these things possible. My endeavor today is to kind of give you a glimpse of all of these in a very, very succinct manner. Let's talk about this example of building awareness. We have a model called Palm 2. For those of you who are new to this whole Gen AI space, large language model or LLMs are created with a notion of generic capabilities to ask anything and it will provide you the right kind of answer. Large language models are generic in nature and by definition they are large. We used Palm and showed the picture of a shirt to that and then asked it to categorize it. It extracted the product or attributes. This is a full-sleeved shirt and it is worn by men. It categorized them appropriately. All of a sudden, extraction of product attributes, classifications, and categorizing the products. And guess what? After all of this is done, it also writes a small blurb about what that product is, all automatically. Imagine the capability of merchandising and catalog building ease that this brings. And more importantly, the human in the middle is always there, but it gives you the freshness to your catalog at all times. Gen AI makes all of this possible, making sure the awareness feature of the entire journey becomes a lot fresher, a lot more engaging to our customers. Let's talk a little bit about another example in the same category. I talked about the Palm model. There is yet another model called ImageGen. What it does is, you type a text, all of a sudden it converts that into an image. If you have the creative capability in the content generation part, and here is a feature that you may want to think of using to create that creatives and insert into your campaign. In this particular example, we talk about spectacles on the beach or in the city. Although fictitious, it creates that. And you could create many such images to create the right kind of impact to your users. We talked about engaging our customers. Here is an example of how using multimodal capability you can engage your customers. Editing, classification of images, and making sure that we provide the right content to the right users. Very important aspect here is all images that are created by you remains your IP. In other words, we don't use those images to train the model back. It remains your property and you use it in your own premise, in your own tenant in the cloud. Let's talk a little bit about consideration. The past techniques allowed us to take just the popularity based selections of products and therefore limited us from providing a more personalized set of offerings to our customers. Today, with Gen AI, you have the capabilities to personalize to the individual. And we do this by not only just taking the questions that is being asked or the product that is being asked, we also understand the intent behind it. We understand the adjacency around what the user has done on the internet in terms of shopping in the past. And I marry both those data, both that information together to provide an enriched experience, such as in this particular case, not only providing the recommendation about a dress, but also about a watch and a pair of shoes, which were searched by this consumer a while ago. The ability to put all of these things together creates a very well-rounded and very rich experience through recommendations. Let me give you another example, a bit more deep, Molly, one of our friends, who's looking for a trendy design, and of course, she is very into pop culture. She's looking to buy a black cocktail dress. In the past, the moment you type black cocktail dress, it looks for those keywords and presents a set of possibilities such as a cocktail glass printed dress. That's not what Molly wants. So it started really building what more can be done and understands the intent behind it. And of course, there is a rule, right? You could add rules to the selection process, but then again, it is also finite in nature. You can only put certain set of rules and very specific rules that limits to the selections that are possible. AI, on the other hand, understands the intent, collects the data of what all Molly had done in this space earlier. When you put all of them together, understands the interest that she has in the pop culture, a different set of selections are presented. Let's understand this a little bit more so that I impress on you the difference between what was and what is now. We used to take a look at the words like cocktail and dress, look for those words in the catalog and present a dress that is nothing but a dress with cocktail glass printed in it. It is not buyable because Molly doesn't want that kind of a dress, nor is it personalized. And therefore, the choice that is presented to her is somewhat low quality. And of course, it results in a poor experience for the user. Now let's look at a scenario where AI gets intervened and learns what cocktail night dress means. It understands the intent and then starts looking at what are the possibilities of what other things that people generally go for after typing or when they are selecting the cocktail night dress. Also looks at the retailer specific patterns, providing the consumer different brands that provide the particular product, allowing you to select the appropriate product. This is how we increase the buyability, the likelihood of buying, the likelihood of selling from another lens. And the personalization angle comes in making sure Molly's past history of what she was doing in the internet with respect to shopping, allowing us to collect the preferences and make the entire experience richer. We also talk about how AI model self-curates without any manual intervention in providing this process. We do this by a process called self-supervised learning. Large language models that Google uses, this technology called self-supervised learning, and then on top of it we have what is called as adaptation, transfer learning, distillation. All of these are technical techniques that we use to fine-tune the model to arrive at a very specific set of sorted results for the user. And imagine what kind of impact it can have on Molly, converting that into the most likable and most buyable choice for her. That's what consideration revolution is all about. Let's talk about action. Here we talk about conversational commerce, which becomes the key in making sure that this journey is very smooth. Human-like conversation, human-like engagement with the users to take them from where they are in their journey all the way to converting that into action. Another important aspect that we need to take care of, as I was mentioning earlier, is collection of data with respect to analysis of sentiments, understanding what the user is up to, and making sure that we provide the right kind of experience, not only in the current journey, but also into the future also. I wanted to play a small video to kind of impress home the point. Here it is. All right, so that kind of gave you a view of how a transformed experience can be the art of possible. By the way, even though it is the art of possible, this is all real. Just a matter of couple of days, we could stand up an application with as much captivating content and experience quite easily. Let me summarize what we saw in this. We can answer from domain instead of just from the FAQ. Navigation to the relevant content so very quickly. Multimedia input and response. This is one of the most sought after capability of very large language models. Capability to create engaging conversations is pinned on multimedia input and responses. Another important aspect I'm sure you all notice is the option to generate content from GenAI as against just looking at web and web-based contents only. And of course, fact-checked. It summarizes the conversation nicely, AI summarization. You can stop and resume the shopping journey and still maintain the context. And lastly but not least, complete the transaction in a smooth manner. All of them so fluidly done within an application. This is the art of possible, and this can be done today. I'm thrilled and stoked by the art of possible and what it can do to all the e-tailers and our experiences, our possibilities here. Looking forward to interesting conversations with you all. Thank you so much and have a great day.